The Waite Tarot, more accurately referred to as the Rider-Waite Smith Tarot, represents one of the most consequential turning points in the long and complex history of tarot. Its significance does not arise merely from popularity or widespread use, but from the fundamental reorientation it imposed on how tarot functions as a symbolic system. Before its appearance in the early 20th century, tarot largely existed either as a card game with allegorical overtones or as an esoteric instrument whose deeper meanings were guarded, fragmented, or transmitted only through initiatory traditions. The Waite Tarot altered this trajectory by transforming tarot into a coherent, readable, and psychologically accessible symbolic language. Capable of speaking directly to individual experience, the deck was conceived and published in 1909 in Edwardian England, a cultural environment characterized by both scientific progress and spiritual anxiety. Industrialization, urbanization, and the erosion of traditional religious authority had created a climate in which alternative systems of meaning flourished. Spiritualism, theosophy, ceremonial magic, comparative mythology, and early psychology all competed to answer questions about identity, morality, and the nature of reality. Tarot, long neglected or misunderstood, found new relevance within this intellectual ferment. Arthur Edward Waite, the conceptual force behind the deck, was not primarily a fortune teller or popular mystic. He was a scholar, translator, and critic of Western esotericism, deeply invested in the study of Christian mysticism, medieval symbolism, alchemy, and Rosicrucian traditions. His relationship with tarot was cautious and intellectually disciplined. Waite viewed tarot not as a predictive mechanism but as a symbolic map of spiritual and moral development. This conviction placed him at odds with both popular cartomancy and the more technically rigid occultism of his contemporaries. Waite's involvement with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn provided him with a highly structured esoteric framework. The Golden Dawn had already integrated tarot into a complex system of correspondences involving the Kabbalistic tree of life, astrology, elemental theory, and ritual magic. However, Waite was selective in how he applied this system. He accepted its symbolic depth but rejected its tendency toward mechanical attribution and overt magical utility. His goal was not to encode secret correspondences into the deck for initiates to decipher, but to express meaning in a way that could be grasped intuitively, ethically, and spiritually. This philosophical stance explains one of the defining characteristics of the Waite Tarot: its deliberate transparency combined with strategic concealment. The imagery reveals far more than earlier decks, yet it never fully explains itself. Waite believed that true understanding arises through contemplation rather than instruction. As a result, the deck invites interpretation without ever exhausting itself, functioning as a living symbolic system rather than a closed doctrine. The collaboration with Pamela Coleman Smith was essential to realizing this vision. Smith was an artist of extraordinary imaginative capacity, influenced by folklore, theater, and symbolist art. Her background differed markedly from Waite's scholarly orientation, and this difference proved productive. While Waite supplied thematic direction and symbolic intent, Smith translated abstract ideas into concrete visual scenes populated by human figures, landscapes, and emotional gestures. The resulting images communicate meaning immediately, even to viewers with no formal knowledge of esotericism. The most revolutionary aspect of the Waite Tarot lies in its treatment of the minor arcana. Earlier European decks, including the Tarot de Marseille, presented the numbered cards as simple arrangements of suit symbols. Interpretation depended heavily on numerology, elemental theory, or memorized meanings. Waite rejected this abstraction. Under his direction and Smith's artistry, each numbered card became a narrative scene, expressing a particular condition, tension, or interaction. This innovation transformed tarot reading from a technical exercise into a form of symbolic storytelling. Through this narrative approach, the Waite Tarot reframed tarot as a mirror of lived experience. The cards depict moments of cooperation and conflict, stability and disruption, hope and disillusionment. These are not cosmic forces imposed from outside, but states that arise from human choices, relationships, and values. This orientation aligns the deck closely with psychological reflection, even though it predates the widespread application of depth psychology to symbolic systems. The philosophical tone of the Waite Tarot is notably ethical and introspective. Fate is present, but it is never absolute. Circumstances constrain, but they do not erase responsibility. The imagery consistently emphasizes consequence, balance, and the necessity of conscious engagement with one's actions. Even challenging or destructive situations are portrayed as part of a broader developmental process rather than as final judgments. This moral framework reflects Waite's grounding in Christian mysticism, though it is expressed symbolically rather than doctrinally. Historically, the deck also reflects the social and cultural assumptions of its time. Its imagery is rooted in European settings, medieval iconography, and hierarchical social structures. Authority figures, moral order, and symbolic justice appear as stabilizing forces. While later generations have critiqued or reinterpreted these elements, they also provide insight into the intellectual world from which the deck emerged. The Waite Tarot is not timeless in the sense of being culturally neutral, but it is enduring because its symbolic logic can be recontextualized without collapsing. The role of the publisher, writer company, should not be underestimated. By producing the deck for commercial distribution rather than restricted esoteric circles, the Waite Tarot entered public consciousness on an unprecedented scale. This accessibility changed the social function of tarot. It became something individuals could engage with privately, outside institutional religion or secret societies. Tarot thus shifted from collective ritual to personal reflection, from guarded knowledge to open inquiry, over the decades. The Waite Tarot established itself as the structural foundation for the majority of modern tarot decks. Even decks that radically alter the artistic style or thematic setting often retain its numbering, compositional logic, and interpretive assumptions. This influence is so pervasive that many readers encounter the Waite system as if it were synonymous with tarot itself, unaware of how recent and specific its innovations actually are. In contemporary contexts, the Waite Tarot is frequently interpreted through psychological, narrative, or therapeutic frameworks. Readers use it to explore identity, decision-making, relational dynamics, and internal conflict. This modern usage does not betray Waite's original intent. Rather, it fulfills it in a language suited to the present. The deck's capacity to translate abstract inner processes into symbolic form is precisely what has ensured its longevity. Ultimately, the Waite Tarot represents a successful synthesis of tradition and reform. It preserves the archetypal structure of tarot while redefining its purpose and accessibility. Its history is not merely the story of a deck, but of a conceptual shift, from secrecy to symbolism, from prediction to reflection, from rigid system to interpretive dialogue. In this transformation lies the reason the Waite Tarot continues to function not as a relic of occult history, but as a living symbolic instrument, capable of adapting to new readers, new cultures, and new ways of understanding the human experience.